Now, effective communication in workplace, that's as it pertains to us or as it concerns us. We can't just turn to people around us to get work done. We must make a conscious effort to reach out, communicate, connect with them, and also form a relationship with them. This is very important. You don't just see anybody and bam, you have walked up to the person, bam, do this, do that. No. Sometimes it's usually necessary that you try to form a bond, you try to form a relationship that will at least get the person's mind at ease to flow with you before you start talking about. Just like when I came in here, at least I got that feeling of wanted, feeling like, okay, this is the place to be. This is how it is, that so that when someone is actually maybe communicating or sharing something to you and say, do this, you're actually flowing with that vein and you're being engaged in the matter that is being discussed. Then making that connection with colleagues in your organization and creating an environment where everybody feels included. And here is the key to effective communication. So when everybody is feeling wanted, everybody is in the office is like, okay, we are at home, we are at peace, we are enjoying this, we are not feeling unwanted here. It makes communication in the workplace very easy. Some people also use app, just like we have our Skype, which is a means of we communicating to us, that like when we are, some of us that are working outside the office, that work from home or work from the station where they are. So this app also is a means we use in communicating, because like last week, some of us were not around, but they were still carried along. They still were kept in track of what is happening in the office. So even if they are not around, we have a means we can also communicate that is not maybe face-to-face communication. So these are other ways to reach out. But the key thing is that we have to try as much as we can to pass the correct information. Please, next slide. Now, there are barriers to effective communications. These are things that really make it difficult sometimes to communicate with people and all that. So now we look at barriers that involves words. Sometimes we use the wrong words, we use the wrong language, disorganized message and all that. So it's the word is an essential role in communication. So it is very, very, very necessary that we mind the kind of words we use to relate with people in the office. Because your language to someone could either mar the person or make the person. So it's very important that we mind what we say to someone. And also what you say to someone could even make the person go back home and like commit suicide, just like what we had 2 weeks ago, that someone had to, like, I was following the story and then I saw that she had a discussion in a peer group, WhatsApp group, and then in that discussion, someone was like abusing her, that if she wants to talk to her, that she has to be married and have children, and then she will understand the integrity of maybe matching her class and all that. And that was the cause of the lady going to go and kill herself and all that, with all the, let me say, the exposure that she has gathered. But because she felt, oh, this person's words really got to me, she went to go and kill herself. From what I gathered, they said the police are already after her. So sometimes we should be careful of what we say to people and how we use it, how we use our messages. And we should also be careful of the information we also pass out. And also we should not be using words that are too ambiguous and overuse it and make someone to get a different interpretation about a particular idea we are trying to pull out. Then we also have barriers that involve people. Now, this has to do with attitude difference. This has to do with lack of a common experience of a perspective and jumping into conclusions. So these things are things that are embedded in people. We all have different upbringing. We also have different background. We also all have different way we do our things. So everybody at each point needs to watch that so that you don't overstep it. We have even gender difference and all that, all those things, even by age, on the level of one's understanding also differs from each other. And instead of maybe jumping into conclusion, you better ask questions. You better be sure that this is actually the right things. These are the things that are all embedded in barriers of communications. By the time we watch this, our workspace will be a better place. Please, next slide. We also have the physical barrier. Now, this is the distance, this is noise and psychological barriers. All these are part of it. So the more we maybe put ourselves together, try to like monitor these things, know them, it will help us to at least put ourselves together and be able to communicate effectively in our workspace. Now we've known what the barriers are. Now, speaking, voicing it out is like a 30% of 38% of, let's say, a problem we have. Then the word also is another thing. It's just on a mild note, but the psychology part of it is on a very high part. So we need to also help ourselves. We need to help ourselves because everybody is not the same in, let me say, in the level of exposure, in the level of understanding and all that. So these areas are places we need to really strive so hard to avoid. Next slide. Next slide. The next one is benefits of communication. Okay. I'm using my laptop so that's okay. So the benefit. Now, when we monitor these things and work towards achieving it, I'm sure that we'll understand that it will help us manage our employee as a company or as an organization, and it also help us to grow our team. It will help us to at least retain employees. There are a lot of benefits to it. We have enhanced our creativity and innovation, build a very strong relationship, and attract more opportunities for you as a person and also for the organization. Then in our personal life, it helps us to improve our social, emotional, and mental health, deepen existing connections, new bonds based on trust and transparency, better problem solving and conflict resolution skills. These are the things we gain when we are able to manage our communication and then work towards it and see that everything is working hand in glove. Next slide. The last one, but not the least, is the significance of effective communication in businesses. So we have employee management, team building, effective communication, organizational growth, talk about transparency, develop trust, facilitate and create creativity and innovations. These are the things that are around this. So once we are properly communicated, or once we imbibe into this culture of being effective in our communication, we build also a strong relationship and reduce misunderstanding within workspace.